Hey everybody, Mr. McConnell here. Okay, so we're doing 6.6 solving by graphing notes. One thing I want to point out with solving by graphing, that basically means I expect you to use the graphing calculator and just graph it and find solutions. One thing I want to point out is that we're going to always have the second value equal to 0. So you can see that I already put that in. And what that means is that we're going to take all this stuff here, move it to the other side, so this side equals 0. This is what the left side will type in. And it doesn't matter whether you move this stuff this way or this stuff that way. This one kind of begs you to move the 7x squared because it's negative. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say moving that over. And basically what that does is it switches its sign. So I'm going to add 7x squared and I'm going to add 14x to both sides. When I do that, that side's just gone. So I end up with equals 0. And then I combine any like terms here, which I actually don't have. And even though I'm writing in standard form here, you don't actually technically have to. The calculator can kind of figure that out. So I go over to my calculator, and I go ahead and type in this right here. So x is a third. Something I did wrong there. So x to the third plus 7x squared plus 14x plus 20. Okay. And here's a big hint. This power right here, the highest power, tells you how many solutions we should end up having. Now today we might find you should at least have that many, or you should have at most that many. There's one solution. Okay. And it's still thinking. See this little thing up here? That means it's still thinking. So I see one solution. So this zoom is not showing me all my solutions. So what I can do is I can just zoom out. So I hit the zoom button and zoom out. And I hit 3 here. And I hit enter because it says where do you want to zoom out from. And I'm looking for this thing. Okay. So now I have a better picture of what's going on. So what's going to happen here is that this graph is going up. And then it wants to come back down and come through and then go back up. But something weird happened. So it actually only has one solution on the graph. So we go ahead and hit the second button in calc or trace, however you want to say that. And then we have to find the intersection. We want to know when does that hit. So we hit 5. And we basically just hit enter. And right here it's asking this question. I'm going to hit enter until right there where I just was. It says intersect. So I keep hitting enter. And it gives me that intersection that x equals -5. Okay. Now I told you this should have 3 answers, and we're going to learn this week how to find the other 2. But we need to go looking to see. Yeah, I can see that this should have come down and then give me those other 2 answers, but something weird happened here, so it caused it not to have other answers. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to look at number 2. Again, I just need to move everything over. Okay, so I'm going to move everything over. Now, if I notice x squared, there isn't one on the left, and x, there isn't one on the right or on the left, and just a number, there isn't one. So I can look at this, and because I'm not going to have to combine anything, I'm going to move that 9x squared over, and I should know that moving it over switches its sign. So those last 3 things right here, I moved over, and you should notice that by moving them over, their sign switched. And I get that equals 0 again. Now, if there was like terms here, I would need to take care of that, but there isn't. I go to my y equals. I'm going to clear out this. I'm going to keep this as 0. Okay, so I get 3x. 3x the 4th. Plus, get out of that, oh, goodness gracious. The 4th, get out of the power there, plus 8x to the 3rd, minus 9x squared, minus 26x, minus 24. So this has a power of 4. So I'm going to have to go looking for 4 solutions. Okay. I go ahead and hit graph to see what we're looking at. And I zoom, remember I'm zoomed out, so I might have to change my zoom here to see what's going on. Again, this is telling me what it's thinking. It's still thinking when this is still yellow, okay, and now it's stopped. Now I can do something. I can see one solution. You can see that it was about to come back up, but it didn't, and I can see a second solution there. So I can see that there's only two solutions that I'm going to be able to find. You can come in if you want. Okay, so I'm going to find those two solutions. So I hit second, calc, intersect again. And again, I'm going to hit enter until this says intersection. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it tells me that x equals 2 is one of my answers. So I go ahead and I just say x equals 2 is one of them. And I'm only going to be able to find one other one. And I can see it on here. It's right here. And I am, again, I'm zoomed out, but I can still see it. Second calc intersection again. But this time, I need to get this little cursor over as close as I can to that, to the other answer. Now I hit enter until it tells me intersection. And it tells me x equals -3. So there are my two solutions I'm looking for there. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the last question. Okay, again, I'm going to move everything over. Because there are no like terms in this, when I move it, I'm just going to rewrite this. X to the third, I'm not moving. Plus 15x squared, I'm not moving. But I'm moving this and this. So when I move it across, I change its sign. And I can then say equals 0. Okay. So then I go back to my y equals here. I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to have the second one equal to 0. So x to the third plus 15x squared plus 63x plus 49. And second, oh, I didn't mean hit second first. So graph. Again, this yellow up here means it's thinking. Okay, I'm looking for 3 solutions. Looks like I have 1, maybe 2 there, and then 1 there. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in. So zoom 6 is one of my favorite zooms. It's a standard zoom. Kind of brings you back closer. Okay. And I'm not sure if that bounces there or goes through. We'll look at that here. Second, I'll wait till this yellow's going. Second calc. Second calc. Second calc. Intersect. Again, I'm going to hit enter until it says intersection. It gives me this first one is -1. Okay, and then I got to find that other one. So second calc, intersect. You got to get over to that one. Hit enter until it says, gives me the answer. Oh, it jumped back. So I wasn't close enough. Second calc again. And sometimes just to be safe, it's weird that it jumped all the way back to the other one. I'm going to go past it because it shouldn't jump past it. Like I was right there, so it jumped past. But if I go past it to the other side, there's no way it's going to jump past that to get to there. Okay, enter. Oh my goodness, it jumped past. Okay, so let me zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and, oh yeah, I want to zoom in right there to see what's going on. Okay, so now I'm going to try this. Second calc, intersect. Now that there's only 1.4 to find. Okay, now it's finding it for me. Okay, and notice how it gives me 0.00001. It's because because it's based on pixels. So this is actually just -7. Okay. And we can see that it doesn't hit that point. It doesn't, what we got to be careful is that it didn't do this just so slightly. I don't think it did that. What I think happened is it went up, it just hit that at -7. So that's not what happened, is this. So there's just that has a multiplicity because it bounced there too. All right, let us know if you have any questions.